But I wanted to stay in the family lane because, like you said, King James, like your father wasn't there, and it's super important for you to be there for your kids and do whatever they go through, But one of my things is like, as people who we all have jobs as our primary source of income, but what we love to do is the music, the podcast, and all these different creative lanes that we're in. How is your support system at the crib with when you first started getting back into music versus now? Like how does your support system work for you and getting these records out?
Man, my wife, she really like the MVP, and it's funny too, because like when I first met her, I rapped for her, because I met her at Old Navy and I told her I rap. She was like, spit something. I guess she thought I was going to be scared, and I spit, and I guess she was impressed, because that was 15, 16 years ago, and we still rocking. So, like she was excited for me, because she knows how much that I love it. And she would always ask me, like, you don't rap no more and stuff. So, I've had nothing but, support for her, and now that my daughter's a little bit older, and like just piggybacking off of what Kil said, one of the reasons why I linked up with him, because I followed him probably for about 2 years before I reached out to him. And I saw him, with his daughter, digging, talking about samples and stuff. And, I was like, man, just on a human level, like it was pretty dope. And, it's something that I aspire for myself. Like I want people to see me and my daughter and be inspired, like, yo, what I'm saying? He's a solid dude. So, but speaking of my support system, man, like my daughter, she's old enough now to be interested. She wants to hear herself on the mic. She wants to hear it back and stuff. She want to hear herself over beats, and she don't really know what she's doing, but she having fun, and I just think about, like my mom, thinking about, the time I would spend with her. This is that time now for her, my daughter, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like timeless memories and stuff, man. But I've had nothing but support, Now my family outside of my nuclear family, not so much. They're like, yeah, it's like the little music thing. You still trying to do this or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But inside this house, man, I really feel like a king, man. I'm blessed. So.
For sure. That's dope, man. I got a funny family story. So it just happened today, like right before we hopped on for the pod. So like I said, man, I'm getting back into my love of music thanks to guys like you and doing this podcast. And I don't know what I'm doing with none of this equipment. Got the money to buy it, but don't know what I'm doing. Right. So I'm just, every time I dread coming up here because I don't know what I'm doing and I'm a perfectionist. Right. And one thing, like I I'm a God-fearing man. So one thing that made me feel like, all right, God's saying, do this. My daughter gets on the keys, right? And she sings Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star in her ABCs to just playing random keys. My youngest son been asking me to put the keyboard on all day long. And it's random. Like he comes up here. So he tell me to put the keyboard on. But my daughter happens to be in here. She's 3. She starts Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I just posted it to the IG and I was like, man, it's funny how, whatever your path is, music or whatever you into, it's funny how certain little instances in your life will open that up to you. You know what I mean? And I feel like that little moment was for me. So, man, it is definitely important for family to support you, to be the first supporters of whatever you're doing, music wise or anything that's outside of your 9 to 5 that's providing the bread at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So hats off to you, brothers, for doing what you're doing in the community, Kil, and hats off to you, man, for changing the game as far as fatherhood, King James. But I want to get into some fun stuff, man. First 48 EP is going to be in stores soon, right? As far as all of the streaming services and able to purchase.
Oh, yeah. Monday at midnight.
Okay. But right now, where can people purchase it?
So on the Bandcamp, jvmesflames.bandcamp.com. It's only $8, man. So, if you love hip hop, like Kil said, it's the best $8 that you can spend. Streaming is okay, but we all know what we make off streams, So if you want to support artists like myself, like Kil, the best thing to do is, buy our products when we put them out, Bandcamp going to take their 15%, but that's way better than streaming, man. So,
but on Fridays they don't, right?
On a specific Friday, they have Bandcamp Friday, so it's one Friday a month, I believe. So man. But yeah, even outside of that, I'll gladly give Bandcamp 15% as opposed to making a percentage of a penny, off a stream. So yeah, man, if you rock with us, if you like it, because we definitely not trying to make people feel convicted. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's not for you. That's not hate. Everything is not going to be for everybody. But if you rock with us, if you think it's dope, please, man, please go out there, support with your dollars. And, and if you can't support with your dollars, like, retweet, do what you need to do. Put the word out, word of mouth still, gets us fans. So.
For sure. Hey, Prez, do you have any first 48 questions before I transition to our sports and culture segment?
I want to throw this out there real quick because I got an iPhone. So I was like downloading it or listening to it on my iPhone. So I just want to let you know, like, if you want to buy it or purchase it, it's going to send you email and you got to go back that way to it. So I didn't know that. So I was trying to figure out, like, why they never, like, because I know I got physical things for Bandcamp and, like, stuff like this. Somebody had a CD or something like that. It always hits up to buy it. But just with y'all album, I know, listen to it on the iPhone. It was just like, hey, if you want to support, then I got to send you an external link to it. So I'm pretty sure it's just so they can get out of paying Apple their thing. So, but just want to throw that out there. So. And then one last little thing, man, like Kil, this is to you, man. Like you was talking about the versatility towards King James on this album, but you kind of shied away on your versatility on this as well when you went back for the old school hip hop rock influences and stuff like this, when you had like that stadium music, like for comes to mind right off the jump, just how you had more of a rock influence on that one, man. So that definitely showed your love of hip hop, where it came from, and how I used to use samples from wherever and whenever, to get a dope beat off. And so, yeah, definitely want to give you a shout out on that as well.
Nah, good looking, fam. I think so much. It's funny. A minute ago, I put something on Twitter like, yeah, I rock with Chance the Rapper. And one of my people DM'd me like immediately, like, yo, how the fuck can you like Chance the Rapper and Benny the Butcher? I was like, because you can. Like, do you like
fried chicken, turkey, duck, greens?
Right. But this new generation, I think, because again, I'm old. So in '84, to see a rap video in Philly, we had to watch Friday night videos. So, and that was going to be predominantly all white music. And then maybe at like the 12th hour, you would get a Beastie Boys video or a Run DMC video. So I grew up loving Duran Duran and Men at Work and, Culture Club and all these other groups, whereas now these kids don't really have to go through that. They can go directly to what they want to hear. So they're only hearing one thing. Or like when I was a kid, you got in your parents' car and you listened to what they were listening to. So that's where my love for Luther and Anita Baker and Freddie Jackson and, Atlantic Starr and all those groups came from, because I was kidnapped. I had to listen to that. Whereas nowadays our kids get in our cars and put on their headphones. Or they walk around with their headphones on. So, in our day, we didn't have that. If your mom's was playing, whatever. My mom's is a jazz musician. So, I grew up listening to I didn't grow up in the soulful house. I grew up in the jazz house. You know what I mean? So, but I think for a lot of people nowadays, they only hear what they want to hear. So it really bugged him out to really be like, yo, you could like Chance and Benny. And I'm like, bro, you could like Chance, you could like Benny, you could like Kirk Franklin, you could like Fred Hammond, you can come back over here and like, Lenny Kravitz is probably my favorite artist walking the planet Earth. You know what I mean? And that trips people out. People are like, yo, you fuck with Lenny? Like, hard body, I fuck with Lenny. Like, and it's just to show people like you can like whatever you want. But that question just showed me that this new generation doesn't understand that, because they're not in a place to have other music kind of come into their cipher. They're able to just pick. Back in the day when moms made dinner, you got what you got. It wasn't like, I want no mashed potatoes tonight. Make this. Like, nigga, this ain't McDonald's. I'm making what I'm making. So,
you got McDonald's money.
Right. So it's a situation now where this generation, they just zoom in on what they want to listen to. So they really, And that question really bugged me out because he was like, yo, you could really like both? I'm like, bro, yo, like whatever you like. Like, I sent my man this Jamiroquai mix, and he was like, his mind was blown. He's like, yo, I never heard of these people, OG. I'm like, bro, just go down the rabbit hole. There's so much incredible music out there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but thank you for that, Prez. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's so true, Kil. That's so true. Like, I get killed for some of my favorite MCs that are not lyrical. Sometimes it's about being in a different setting and listening to good music. You know what I mean? Good music is good music. I know Diddy gets hell for the shiny suit era, but damn it if they ain't make some good music when I was able to be outside. You know what I mean? Like you can't deny that. Jermaine Dupri just coming off the top of the head. A lot of the different stuff rap wise they were making was beautiful music, but you can't say that this certain guy is my favorite producer, favorite rapper because whatever. I mean, I know Prez Mystical. Mystical was one of the guys that he grew up rocking with. You know what I'm saying? He won't apologize for it. That's one of his favorite rappers. Like you could stand on your square as far as your favorite rappers, but being just so narrow-sided in terms of just I can only like this, it just doesn't open you up to have rock influences, country influences. I mean, Prez, I joke on him all the time, but he was giving me some country hop like a couple weeks ago to listen to. And I'll publicly say this shit was kind of jamming. I'll publicly say this shit was kind of jamming. And you know what I mean? And then, my last point is being in the military over 20 years now, there's no way I listen to as much Southern music or West Coast music without knowing this man. You know what I mean? There's no way that I have an appreciation for a Project Pat or Master P as much as I have appreciation for Jay-Z if I don't know my homie from the South or all my homies from the Midwest, West Coast, shit, all over the world. You know what I mean? Like, you just get a plethora of options when you're in the military in particular for music. So when I first came in, 18 years old, I was straight New York, Brooklyn, New York. That's all. That's all that mattered.
Rockefeller.
We were Rockefeller, Bad Boy. Who else? Duck Down, Wu-Tang. Like those were my staples. Like, you can't say nothing about them. Like, your guys don't rap better. But as I grew older, I'm like, oh, I actually like this Cash Money shit. I actually like this No Limit stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so you evolve, man. So I'm glad you got to the youngins on that. But I want to transition to the sports.
Hold tight for one second. Okay. What you said. You made a huge point about being in the military because that enabled you to be around other people. You see what I'm saying? Imagine if you just stay in Brooklyn, you know what I mean? And then you just get a 9 to 5, your music palette isn't the same, and that's one of the reasons I love social media now. One of the reasons I love it is because you're able to talk to people from different places. Because what always happens is you assume what people love where you're at, and everybody in Brooklyn is playing a song, and you just think the whole world is playing the song. You know what I mean? And then later on, like, my man Nick from ATL, he's like, nigga, we wasn't playing Nomadic like that down here. And I'm like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, sure. What do you mean? Everybody was playing Nomadic. So and it's funny because the people I've met online and in person through the military, you guys have that because you had your bunkmate may have been from somewhere else and this other person is playing that. But, for me, I was Philly all my life. Then I went to B-more and now I'm out here in D.C. I'm in 3 predominantly black cities. You know what I mean? So I'm just now listening to UGK. Like, I'm just listening to that album for the first time. Like, literally,
Kil,
like maybe
you need a playlist. You need a playlist to get up to speed.
Yo, send me a playlist, bro. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, because when people challenge me, I'm like,
I'm
here for it. My co-host Porsche always. My co-host Porsche was like, yo, I just listened to a DJ Quick album for the first time a couple DJ of Quick is like 6 like that, months ago.
Yes, very much so. The
because,
production,
like you said, you in Brooklyn or you in Philly, that's it. Like, that's your pocket. You know what I mean? And the only thing I knew about Master P and them, they had them whack ass album covers in the source. Like, I would just flip through that page. You know what I mean? Like the Pens and Pixel album covers. I'm like, who the fuck? Whose kid is designing this shit? You know what I mean? And you just keep it moving. You know what I mean? So there's nobody on Morgan's campus like, yo, my nigga, you need to listen to this Master P. Nah, everybody was like, yo, fuck that down south shit. You know what I mean? So, all that to just say that that's one of the reasons I love social media, because now even at 47, I tell people, my pastor taught me, you never want to be the smartest person in the room.
Never.
If you the smartest person in the room, you in the wrong room. So I love being around other people who can pour into me even at 47. And that's why I'm always telling people, these young boys, like, yo, if I'm 47 and I'm still learning, you can't tell me you 25 and you just gonna cut off your ears. You know what I mean? You can't do that. So, but that point about the military is so ill, because everybody who I know who loves such a plethora of music is so funny. They're like, I was in the military. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. And that's what's dope about hip hop for real, man. Because like when you think about it, you know, it's an art form that samples other art forms, you know. And Cats wasn't like, yo, we only going to sample, you know, this or that. They sampling literally whatever sounds dope. Like a producer go into a record store and just pick out records. And they don't know these artists, you know, but they listening to it with an open mind, and that's how you get your bangers, man. Like when you have the ability to just shut yourself off, you know, like a lot of dope shit I never would have listened to if it was, you know, up to me. But just being around other people, or, you know, like Kil said, you know, when you in a house and you a kid, you with your mom, like it wasn't a whole bunch of rap in my house, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to what she listened to. You know, so she listened like Lisa and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I actually kind of like this. You know what I'm saying? But now you don't have that because you can just be pigeonholed. And that's kind of like why rap sounds the way it sounds now. You know, it's not that it's, you know, for better or for worse. It just sounds pigeonholed. Like you don't have the same experimentation, and people like diving into different genres to, you know, give you a sound. And the UGK thing, man. Bro, Dirty Money in high school, I burned a hole in that damn tape, man. Like that's we fucked that.
And it's funny because I'm like, I got on Twitter, I was like, yo, this shit is dope. You know what I mean? And Cats like, yo, you just listening.
Soulful, the beats,
I'm like, yo,
bang.
I'm 20 years late, but I always tell folk it's better late than never. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we say that all the time.
Right there.
We say that all the time. We love to go down.
It ain't no shame in being, oh, you ain't here. It's not, I did, my nigga. I'm listening now. So, you know what I mean? You know, you can make fun of me, jokes, whatever, like you said, Cash. Like, yo, I like some wild shit. I always tell people, I think me and Chance the Rapper's daughter are the only two people who like this last album. That's cool with me. People make fun of me for it, but that's cool. I liked it. It spoke to me. You know what I mean? No, if everybody else thought the shit was whack, that's cool, you know, but it was dope to me. But, you know, nowadays on social media, everybody needs a back. And it's like, oh, that shit was whack. Okay, I ain't going to say nothing.
That was his exploring album, by the way. That was his exploring album. Go to Coloring Book.
Yeah,
don't like that.
Yeah, like what you like. Like what you not. And I do love Coloring Book. That's probably my favorite Chance joint. So.
Yo, Cash, I know you want to go off to sports. We having a good conversation about.
No. Let's keep it here. As long as the podcast is as long as it is.
He'll teach you a little lesson real quick because Cash then got into it. It's like, you know, where I would say the old head hip hop, you know what I mean? That's getting too protective of his sound, his music. We've been having a conversation going on. He don't like all the sampling that's going on. And
no, I don't like that. It's not done right.
Our hits from the late 90s and early 2000s now getting flipped with the new generation coming up. And it's like, oh, you can't mess that up. And it's like, but hold up, didn't we do the same damn thing, you know, as we was going, taking all the parents, those hits that we heard in our parents' ride, flipping it and you know, going that way with it. So you can't have that stronghold or that, like, you got to let it live. You got to let music live, you know?
Before you answer, Kil, let me give my retort. Let me give my retort. Right. So here's my thing. If you're going to be a prominent, one of the guys, the guys of right now, I'm just talking, the J. Cole's, the Meek Mills, the Drakes, you know, the guys that are in the forefront of it. Not talking about the guys that we personally champion as far as music guys. If you're going to do it well. That's my only thing. You know, these are classics. You know what I'm saying? They flipped the Vibrant thing. I like it in a different setting, but I'm not listening to it. You know, J. Cole and Wale, but I'm not listening to it all the time because I don't feel like the flip was creative. You know what I mean? Just like back in the day when we had remixes, you know, the remixes were actual remixes. You know what I mean? It wasn't the same beat with new verses. You know, to me, that's lazy. All I ask is artists, don't be lazy on what I consider my yesteryear. You know what I mean? So,
and I think the thing is too, man, Press, to your point, the way hip hop was done coming up in the 90s was the whole key was to use something nobody ever heard before. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Like, you weren't finding Gangstar just sampling something you probably heard in your mom's car. You know what I mean? They're sampling something that nobody's ever heard. You know, all these records behind me, cats are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on records to find that break that nobody ever heard. So really, to me, the core of sampling was to use something that nobody's ever heard before. You know what I mean? Then when we came into the Diddy Trackmaster years of like 94, 95, then it became a situation, because from what I heard, like Tone and the Trackmasters, he was a partier. So he would be at the clubs and during the old school jams, you know, he would see the crowd react and he would go back to the studio with Poke and be like, yo, we gonna sample, you know, such and such and such, because man, the way the crowd reacted, they gonna love it on that. Now, during that time, us backpackers, we hated that shit. Like, yo, how you just gonna sample Diana Ross, I'm Coming Out? How you just gonna sample, you know, what I remember Puff did I'm Coming Out, then he turned around and did the remix for MC Light with Cold Rocker Party with Diana Ross Upside Down. I'm like, fuck, you just gonna use a whole Diana Ross album right now. You know what I mean? Like, so producers like me had a problem with that, because like, how you just gonna loop stuff that we already knew were hits? When you heard Award Tour, don't nobody know what that is. You know what I mean? Like, when you heard Troy, don't nobody, the average listener, know what that is. And Troy may be one of the dopest hip hop songs ever. So that was the whole point of sampling, was I'm gonna take something that nobody's ever heard and turn it into a hit. Then it went to, no, I'm gonna take a hit that's already a hit and turn that into a hit. And now it's becoming, like you just said, like with J. Cole. And I think it's a generational thing, because I think for the younger cats like J. Cole and them, they think, you know, like they use the same beat, like he used Electric Relaxation on the joint I forgot, maybe on Born Sinner, Forbidden Fruit. And I'm sitting here like, my nigga, you just gonna take the whole Electric Relaxation? Like, nigga, like, you ain't gonna flip it? So I think for the younger generation, they look at that as paying homage. Whereas us old heads is like, yo, that ain't paying homage, nigga. That's straight fucking biting. You know, and that's why I try to teach hip hop, because this younger generation doesn't understand biting. Even on J. Cole's last album, The Joint My Life, I'm listening, I'm like, oh, you just gonna take Pharaoh's whole chorus from My Life. Like,
most people didn't know that, and most people didn't know that.
But,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of my favorite Styles P joints ever.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One of my favorite Ayatollah beats ever. But to them, it's paying homage. To us, it's biting. So it's like with my marriage coach. We just speak in two different languages right here. We speak in two different languages. Like, I get where your heart is at, but my nigga, let me try to explain something to you. Like, if you want to do that, then do me this justice. Bring Pharaoh in. Bring Pharaoh in to get to do the chorus for you, to give Pharaoh that love, because a lot of your fans don't even know who Pharaoh Monch is. So to me, that's the way to pay homage. You know what I mean? If you really want to pay homage and you really like that song so much, you bring in Pharaoh and let Styles P get a verse on that too. That's, to me, how you pay homage, because make sure they get a check out of this. Don't just say, oh, I took your chorus, salute to Styles P and Pharaoh Monch. But again, I always give people the benefit of the doubt. I would think Cole would know a little better. Like, yo, let me help these dudes get it. We just talked about this on the last episode of Apartment 5B. I hate it when Jennifer Lopez would do the Jenny from the Block using the beat nuts, Watch Out Now, and then have the track masters come in and produce that. I'm like, nah, my nigga, call Juju and Les and give them the opportunity to come over here and redo their beat for you, and then allow them to get some of that pop money J-Lo check too. You know what I mean? But the problem is at that time, it was all about the name. So if it says produced by Trackmasters, that looks a lot better than produced by the Beatnuts. And I always give Alicia Keys credit for this. She did a remake of If I Was Your Woman over the Warning beat. And she had Easy Mo B, who did the Warning beat, come in and do the beat and got that man a check. That's how you pay homage. So if you want to do that shit, that Wale Cole shit is whack as fuck to me. To just Jack Byron thing, use tips, flow, you didn't do shit to it. Like, and now
what about it was creative? That's my point, kid. What about it is creative? If you gonna flip some of the shit that I love, and my record history goes back, because my pops, I remember riding in the Thunderbird listening to shit from the 80s, Big Daddy Kane and Krs One, which we will get to pretty soon. But so I remember that shit. So like, and the stuff that they sampled back in the day. So if you're gonna do it, make that shit undeniable. Make it undeniable.
Or again,
and then the bread part, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah, get tip on that. Like but again, these I always tell people, if you're doing something hip hop and you don't have somebody who's at least 46 or older somewhere on your team as a consultant, yo, OG, what you think about this? Yo, OG, what you think about that? It's hard to really do it 100% right. I always tell people, this is why you never see anybody on ESPN or Fox Sports under the age of 40. Because they're not old enough to be able to go back and have those conversations about a Joe Montana or a Jerry Rice or Michael Jordan or Dominique Wilkins or Isaiah Thomas, because all they can do is say, oh, well, I seen some YouTube clips. Nah, like there's an age limit. Like you're not going to find no 22-year-old intern that's just going to get a show on ESPN, because you're not old enough to really be able to get in here and talk about some of these topics. And the great thing about, the internet is it gives everybody a voice. One of the worst things about the internet, it gives everybody a voice. Everybody doesn't need to have a voice. Everybody couldn't host 889 back in 93. You couldn't just grab somebody off of Morgan's campus who just liked hip hop and be like, okay, you're going to host the Stretch and Bobbito show of the DMV. Nah, like you had to have a certain criteria to be able to do that. Like I'm telling you, a lot of cats would not have podcasts and shows if niggas had to fill out job applications, like or take some type of written test. Like, half of this shit would get cut in half. If there's 1 million podcasts after the interview process, I guarantee you at least 600,000 of them shits is gone. Like, nah, like you are not getting a job. But again, my man Vern says it all the time. That's the blessing of the internet. It gives everybody a voice. It's also the curse, because everybody doesn't need to have a voice.
President and I go through this shit all the time. Right there.
That's the reason. Like what you was talking about, the ESPN and everything. I think it goes, it bleeds into hip hop a little bit as well too. Where now everybody's a goddamn GOAT, and that shit pisses me off. Like, like, and again, everybody ain't no GOAT. They ain't got enough.
Yeah, and I tell everybody too, young folk, it's not any disrespect, but if you young, like I said, here's the difference. If I watch the Temptation movie, I watch it all the time. It's one of my favorite movies, and I see something different, I call my mom, like, yo, tell me about X, Y, and Z. This younger generation, they'll watch the movie, then call me like, yeah, nigga, I bet you ain't no da 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 da. And I'm like, yo, bro, fall back. Just because you got a little bit of knowledge, you read a book, like don't come ready to debate. Like, no, when you get the knowledge and then you call the OG and be like, yo, man, I read this book about Illmatic. Yo, tell me a little bit more about Illmatic. So now you got the book knowledge and you got the person who was out there, that knowledge. So again, if we don't teach, this is what y'all want to know what happens when folk don't teach. This is what we get. This is exactly what we get. Because maybe if somebody told J. Cole 4 albums ago, nigga, just jacking a nigga beat is not paying homage. Okay? It's not.
James, how you feel doing it? But James, how you feel about the sampling of your favorite records from your era?
I feel pretty much the same, man. It's like Kil said, and the thing that hip hop got to do a better job of, it's like it's a young art form, man. Like you got people that were on the ground floor, and nobody reaches out to these cats for anything, But they'll, like Kil said, they'll sample their stuff, they'll use their voices, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, shout out to blah 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 blah. It's a lot of money in hip hop now. Hip hop is a multi-billion-dollar industry now. It's global. You know what I'm saying? Like get the forefathers some checks, Like just by putting Pharaoh, and not saying that Pharaoh is a forefather, but the spirit of it. You could have just threw him on a hook, because like Pharaoh Monch killed that. He killed that chorus, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that really brought the song together. So why would you just sing it instead of just, you already reached out to him, right? Like, hey, Pharaoh, you trying to sing on this drink? You know what I'm saying? Now you're going to introduce a whole new artist, a whole new audience to a dope artist, because like cats don't really know, like the younger cats don't really know who Pharaoh Monch is, but if they hear that and they go back and, dig into some Organized Confusion and then his solo stuff, with Eternal Affairs, Desire, like, man, he got joints, bro, So it's like there's a proper way to do it. And I think cats are just being lazy because it's like when you sample a hit, you pretty much already know it's going to be a hit again because it was a hit. Music does transcend time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why, I was born in 85. You know what I'm saying? I love a lot of the 60s songs, 70s songs. Like, I love that stuff because a hit then, is going to be a hit now for the most part, if you're just talking about sonic wise. So, it's just really people being lazy. And if you're going to do it, like Cash said, man, do it right. There's a right way to do it. And I don't think that's the case right now,
And let me say this one last point, and then we good. I always tell folk from doing radio for them 7 years in the 90s, just make dope music. That's what the key is. Make dope music. I give 2 examples. Smooth the Hustler came out with the A-side Hustling. Just to Krs Mayfield's what did they take? They sampled Krs Mayfield, well-known song, and that was the A-side. Did nothing for radio. Then we listened to the B-side and we heard Broken Language with Trigger the Gambler, which was fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Second thing, MOP's third album. They got the joint with the Rocky sample with Jay-Z on it. That says hit all over it. Yo, it's the Rocky sample. Everybody fucking knows it. We got Jay on it. This is going to be a hit. It's a dud. What's MOP's biggest song? Ante Up, a song about robbing niggas. Again, just make dope fucking music. Stop trying to follow this recipe of, okay, if I do this and I do this, it'll equal that. That math equation is off. It's been off. Just make dope ass music. Because there's no way Ante Up, a song about robbing niggas, is a bigger radio hit than Jay-Z, over the Rocky beat. Because that was the thing in that time. Get a familiar beat. And if you get Jay on it, you was like guaranteed whatever. That song did nothing. You know what I mean? So I always tell people, just make dope music. Just make good music. And if it's meant to be, it'll be. But stop trying to follow this formula of, if I do this, it'll do that. It don't work like that.
Right. And in the words of one of my favorite lyricists from your hometown state, James Fonte, of Little Brother, dope beats, dope rhymes. What more do y'all want? Like, this is that simple. It's that simple, man. But I want to transition to, kind of, you've been wearing that hat and the question's been on the tip of my tongue. And I know this is where we all at home in our sports, man. I just had James on for the Don't Sleep on the Eagles. Hopefully, at this time we recording, they're playing right now. I haven't checked the score. I don't want to know. I want to be in a good mood right now. I want to keep high.
There you go.
So with that said, man, I mean, you was talking about the health and you was talking about, your teams. But if anybody knows you or follows you on Twitter, and James, you feel free to jump in here anywhere you want to go. You've been cracking me up with this damn Ben Simmons shit from its inception. From the time, from last year all the way up until now, to him saying, hell nah, y'all don't get on that plane. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be here. Kil, can you put the bow tie on this once and for all? How do you feel about Ben Simmons, man? Where we at with that?
Here's the thing. Here's the biggest misconception, because people always be like, Kil, you're hating on Ben Simmons. And again, it's the educator in me. Hate started from when Puff started popping in 95 and the Backpackers was like, yo, that shit was whack. And Puff was like, yo, y'all hating because y'all niggas is broke. And if anything you know about black folk, we don't never want to be seen as broke. So it's like, oh, no, we ain't hating. Hating would be me saying, yo, Steph Curry can't shoot. Hating would be me saying Jordan whack as shit. Hating is when you are denying somebody their greatness. When I say Ben Simmons can't hit jumpers, that's not hating. That's the fucking truth. When I say Ben Simmons can't hit free throws, that's not hating. That's the truth. If I call a fat person fat, nigga, I'm not hating you're fat. It just is what the fuck it is. You know what I mean? Like, there's no hate involved in that. But because social media, if you say you don't like somebody, it becomes hate. Ben has a Maya Angelou quote that I live by is, when people show you who they are, believe them. Ben has showed us who he was since he was at LSU. And I'm just the only motherfucker who believed him. That's it. I'm the only one. Because it's a documentary on Showtime about him. And when LSU didn't make the tournament, he was happy. He was like, good, I can just go straight to the league and I can start moving forward. And right there, that showed me, nigga, you don't love this game. You don't love this shit. What college player doesn't want to go be in March Madness? Like, bro, that doesn't make sense. So that showed me right there, you really don't love this game. Ben hasn't gotten better in anything. All Ben did was bulk up and play defense. But my thing is, my nigga, did I ask you to play defense? We didn't ask you for that. We asked you that we needed offense. And I tell people this all the time, yo, imagine your wife ain't working and you like, you know what, babe, I really need you to get a job. And she like, all right. But you know what? Yo, she taking care of the house. The house is clean. The sex is great. The kids look great. Like, babe, those are all great accomplishments. But my nigga, I need you to get a fucking job. Like, yo, we can't pay the mortgage. You know what I mean? Like, we're asking you for something specific, Ben, and you're giving us everything else. Look, I can play D. Look, I bulked up. Look, I can do that. We know, my nigga, and those are wonderful accomplishments. But we need you to be able to score the basket. And just what happened last year, I always tell people, you just never watched the Sixers game like that because, yeah, he disappeared even extra in that series against Atlanta, but that's never been Ben. That's never been Ben. Like with Ben Simmons, he has split personality. He has 3 personalities. You got summertime Ben, where he leaks a video every summer of him looking like Klay Thompson. He's coming down, hitting jumpers, turnaround jumpers, looking like Klay Thompson. Then you got regular season Ben, who takes none of those shots, but gives you crazy stats like he'll be the first Australian over 6'5" to average over 4.5 assists before a TV timeout. And then you've got playoff Ben, who doesn't do shit but play defense. So you don't even know what Ben Simmons you're gonna fucking get. You know? So the misconception is that Ben can shoot. He's scared to shoot. And before he works with a shooting coach, he needs to go see a psychologist because something happened in his life. Because if you couldn't shoot, you wouldn't be able to do these summertime videos. You wouldn't be able to show us all this, you just coming down and his shot looks flawless in the summertime. You know what I mean? So it's almost like a kid saying, you know, the kid whose teacher's like, yo, Malik is illiterate. He can't read. Now Malik is just scared to read in front of people. Like, Malik is home reading books all day long, but then you put him in the class. I'm dead ass. Y'all laughing. I do with my kids. Teachers will tell me, Kil, Malik can't read. I'm like, this nigga can read. He's just scared to read in front of people. I don't know what happened to Ben Simmons that he's scared to shoot in front of people. Like, because that's essentially what it is. Because Ben Simmons can shoot. He's just scared to shoot. And that's where we're at. And right? I don't understand why we're kissing this nigga ass, flying, taking niggas are acting like we went to the NBA chip and lost. And it's like, yo, let's run it back, y'all. We was right the fuck there. Like, come on, let's run it back. This ain't
the first time, though.
Nigga,
like,
we lost in the second fucking round.
This ain't the first time he did the same shit in the Toronto series. Same shit.
Bruh, we lost in the second round. Why are we kissing the nigga's ass to run it back again? To lose in the second round? He's obviously we can't win with him. And it's just one of those things, you know what? Motherfuckers and people like, nah, Kil, watch Ben when he go to another team, he gonna be. Nigga, I know so many niggas growing up in Philly who try to turn a hoe into a housewife. And it's like, nigga, yo, you know she the jump off. Yo, leave her be. Nah, man, she ain't never got, yo, watch when I put it down. And she's still up. Like, it just is what it is, bro. Like, some GM out there got that hoe to a housewife mindset. Like, yo, watch, I'm going to change Ben Simmons. I'm going to get Ben Simmons in. I'm going to make him a... Look. Bruh, all I can say is you better listen to Maya Angelou. Somebody shows you who they are when if you meet a girl and she a stripper, she 9 times out and a stripper at heart. Just you can't be like meet a girl in a strip club and then be like, okay, time to retire now that we wiped up. No, she wants to strip. That's the thing. Like, let her strip. Ben doesn't want to shoot. I don't know why we're like chasing this nigga. I think it's just PR. It's like what we supposed to say. Like Doc is supposed to say we want you back and all that stuff, but don't nobody want Ben Simmons back.
This
and now he blaming the fans.
I just want to say that.
Yeah. Why does Doc Rivers get a pass though? This is his.
I wanted Doc Rivers fired. At the end, after we lost to Atlanta, I was like, I want Doc Rivers. I never wanted Doc Rivers. We can start right there. I think Doc Rivers is a 3-mic coach on his best fucking day. I don't see the hype of Doc Rivers. If people really follow sports, that year before they won the championship in Boston had every right to let him go. And I'm never with a black coach getting fired. I would have been okay with them firing Doc Rivers. Like, he has not been an amazing coach. Like, he hasn't done shit with the Clippers. He didn't do shit with Orlando. So at the end of the day, it's like, I just don't see the hype. And I wanted Doc going too, because you coddled Ben all year and then wanted to throw him under the bus. Like, My job, again, this is the educator in me. My job is to make sure if you're scared to read in front of people, but there's a fucking spelling bee coming up in fucking April and it's September, my job is to coach you so that once we get to April, you feel comfortable in doing what I need you to do. And that's what Doc needed to do. He needed to be in Ben's ass every day during practice. Like, bro, we're going to get you more comfortable. So by the time the playoffs come, what I'm going to ask you to do is not going to be foreign to you. And that's not what Doc did. Everybody was making up excuses. Oh, it's okay if he don't shoot because he does this. No, it's not the fuck okay if he doesn't shoot because that's what the fucking job is. Like, that's like a quarterback who can't throw. Oh, it's okay if he can't throw. Just
Kill.
Fucking hang out. Like, nigga.
Kill, the last time we talked about this shit, I was Prez was blaming Doc too, and Doc has a lot to do with it. Like, Doc is overrated. I get it. That one championship done bought him millions in contracts. I get it. But what I was saying is, at the very least, Ben, be Draymond Green. At the very least. That's all we asking. I mean, Draymond think he's Steph when he wide open. He takes this fucking shot. That's all I'm asking. Take the fucking shot. It's either going to go in or miss. Two options.
He like that football player, man. When you see the ball, like, hey, man, let me see that thing, man. Let me get a shot up, man. He's not going to shy away from it, bro.
Right.
Right. So, and that's the huge problem is that, and every year in Philly, my niggas be like, all right, yo, if Ben don't get better this year, then we gonna no, now we don't let it go too far. That's why when I was saying, I wanted James Harden this past year before he went to Brooklyn, all my niggas in Philly like, James Harden the ball hog, you don't want him. So you want to keep Ben? And see, that's the thing. Like, people get so excited about the regular season. When your team is supposed to win a championship, the regular season ain't nothing but a scrimmage to me. I don't care what Ben does for them 82 games. I don't care what are you going to do when the playoffs come. That's all I care about. Now, for somebody whose team isn't, a championship isn't in the cards right now, then yeah, the regular season is important. But if you're like chip or bust, dog, this is the second year that we lost in the second round. Like, and again, now you want to blame Embiid. You can't play with Embiid. You blaming the fans. Like, and I saw this because if people pay attention, when Jimmy Butler was in Minnesota, he went there and it was like, Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns, these the next dudes. Obviously, Jimmy saw something we didn't, and he was like, these niggas ain't shit. I'm bouncing. And he went to Philly. Same situation. Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, supposed to be the next people in the NBA. And then when that nigga bounced to Miami, I was like, pay attention to what people don't say. That showed me a lot right there, that he bounced to Miami, because at the time, Miami wasn't shit. And I'm like, this nigga leaving Philly? Like, we could win a chip and you out? That's because people forget. Embiid, a year ago, we was talking about who should we keep, Embiid or Ben, because they both have faults. But Embiid said he had his son, and he said, I want my son to see his father playing on the championship level every single night. So Embiid came back, MVP season. You know what I mean? Ben comes back the same person. Every year, same person. And as a fan, it's like, how do you get excited for a nigga coming back the same person? Like, there's no growth. So all that to just say, fuck Ben Simmons, and I'm glad more people can agree with me now. Because for years I was a hater. On Twitter. It's like, Kil, man, you just don't like light-skinned niggas. You don't like this. You don't like Australian. I've heard everything. But at the end of the day, we all now see, and I told people, at 47, I don't mind being wrong. I want to be wrong. I wanted Ben Simmons to come back every year. I wanted everybody to give me crows. See, Kil, you don't know shit. And we could be celebrating on Broad Street when the Sixers win a chip. I'd much rather be wrong and us win a chip. It don't even feel good to be like, see, I told y'all niggas. It don't even feel good, because I always tell people, if I'm right, we're fucked. And it's exactly what we are right now. We're fucked. So I'd rather be wrong with a championship than be right and be where we are right now. Fuck. So
wow. Thanks for wrapping that up, Kil. Thanks for wrapping. You put that shit in the bowl. It's in a coffin. Rest in peace to Ben Simmons and his time with the Philadelphia 76ers. So, I mean, you guys have an embarrassment of riches there. You guys have been competitive over the last couple of years, but a team that hasn't, and they have a young squad, is the Charlotte Hornets. I'll toss it back to you, James. You know what I mean? Is another man's trash your treasure in terms of Ben Simmons, or where you at with this? Hell
no, bro. I've never been high on Ben Simmons, bro. Like, dog, for real. So, you know, just looking at the Philly situation on the outside looking in, it was weird to me that it's like, all right, y'all just had the Markelle Fultz fiasco, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh my God.
guard that with the injury and he can't shoot. And then, you know, you're going to go to LSU and get Ben Simmons and he's known for not being able to shoot. It was just weird to me, man. You know, and then he didn't like, I could see if LSU was like a powerhouse, like, bro, they didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like in college, he had good stats, but it's like you didn't win there, bro. Like you at least got to make some noise in the tournament. You didn't even make it to the tournament. But in terms of Charlotte, man, like, you know, y'all know what we are, man. Like we ain't shit, you know. So if we make the playoffs, I'll be excited. I'll be happy. You know, I like the direction we going into. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, PJ Washington come out, you know, guns blazing after that Brittany Renner situation. You know, he got to get his face back, man. So, you know, he had a good rookie season, but I want him to come out and do damage. I love LaMelo Ball, man. I love LaMelo Ball. Yeah. Like, I'm excited to see what he looks like once he gets his NBA body. You know what I'm saying? Get stronger so he can start finishing through contact and stuff like that. And another pickup we got that was kind of low, man, we picked up Kelly Oubre. You know, like Kelly Oubre Jr. I really like him. Good defender, you know what I'm saying? Good finisher at the rim. So we have pieces, man. It's just we never can seem to capitalize on momentum, you know. So, but my expectation, I hope we can win 40 games. If we win 40 games, I'd be okay with that. You know, I'm a realistic fan. Like we're not gonna be competing for no championship anytime soon. So I just want us to be competitive. If they're in games, you know, and we have a pretty decent record at home, then I'll be good with that. That's a good start.
All right, so I want to transition to music, and we'll get back to some good stuff, man. But that's yep, had me in tears.
He said Malik be at home reading books, yo, bro. That shit is funny as hell, bro. He is not illiterate, bro.
I have teachers telling me like, yo, your kid is illiterate. I'm like, yo, he is not fucking illiterate. He can read. Trust me. He just doesn't like reading in front of people. So we got to figure out what that is and make him feel comfortable with that. And it's the same with Ben. Like, I don't know what happened, but something happened where he just does not feel comfortable taking those shots in front of 20,000 people. I don't know what happened. Something happened. But it's obvious he can shoot.
Hey, Philly is a tough city to play in. New York is a tough city to play in. Like it's Pittsburgh. It's a few cities.
You in the NBA. I get tired of people using that dumbass excuse. You knew what it was when you went up in there and you was going to it. You playing on the highest level of the sport. Yes. People are serious. It's sports. You've been knowing about sports your whole life. People are crazy. We're fanatics. They got a whole term for this. Like, so don't be.
You know what, fam?
Like, oh, it's the people.
And here's the thing about him trying to talk shit about the Philly fans. We support, not me. Fuck that nigga. The rest of the city supported that nigga. You got this right here. I keep this on my phone right there. You remember that joint when dude is showing him how to shoot the free throws. Like, yo, people were supporting this boy. Like, let me show you, my dude. So I don't want to hear this hoopla like, oh, the Philly fan. Dog, they had your back. Trust me, I argued with plenty of Philly people who's like, Kill, you bugging. Ben is going to be the next LeBron James. He's one jump shot away. I'm like, nigga, people been saying that
one jump shot away. That's like Bleak being one hit away his whole career.
Exactly.
Hit never happened. Newsflash.
Bro, but the crazy shit about it is it's like Kil said, like, yo, the cat, he just won't shoot. It's like it's been plenty of niggas that came into the league without a jumper, you know what I'm saying? But they work at it. And it's like he just will not shoot. Like nobody would ever take a quarterback that couldn't throw, which I thought was hilarious as well. But it's like, how you gonna have a point guard that won't shoot? Not can't shoot. This nigga won't shoot, bro.
Yeah, you got guys that have crazy heart. Their mind is they're going to shoot. I mean, shit. Allen Iverson, as soon as he came into the league, he couldn't shoot for shit. His percentage was trash. But he kept going. He kept shooting the shit. He had that belief that eventually the shit will work out. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of cats like that, James. There's a lot of cats like that.
Jason Kidd couldn't shoot. Fucking Rondo couldn't shoot. This motherfucker shoot over 30% from three now. And Ray John Rondo had a janky ass jumper. You know what I'm saying?
Still does.
So Yeah,
Not in the playoffs though. All right, last question, man. We got a Verzuz coming up. Last few have been pretty damn dope. Locks put on a clinic, showed everybody why my favorite group and the group I was raised on is one of those favorite groups that could stand the test of time. But the latest Verzuz, I wasn't outside during that era, man. I heard about it. I listened to it. I love the music. But I gotta defer to Jvmes and Kil on this one, man. Like, how do y'all feel about is Big Daddy Kane versus Krs One that's coming up? Like that.
Man, I'm gonna defer to Kil because I'm in the same boat. I wasn't outside for that, man. This is all Kil.
I'm the old man in the barbershop today.
Take us out. Take us out,
Kil. Krs winning it. It should be a dope night. And I was going back and forth with some people on Twitter about it. And one of the things we got to stop with Twitter is when you say somebody's going to win and it's like, oh, just slow down. You know, it ain't going to be easy. I'm like, nigga, I didn't say it was going to be easy. I just said somebody's going to win. There's going to be a winner. There's going to be a loser. It could be close. It could be a blowout. I'm just saying KRS is going to win just for the simple fact that, to me, we always talk about Rakim changing the way people rap. People don't talk about KRS. In 1986, I'm 12 years old, and Poetry came out. And the way he was rhyming, I had never heard any MC ever rhyme like that before. It's before my melody. I listen to my melody, and Rakim is rapping. He's rhyming. What KRS was doing with Poetry, that was some next shit. So KRS can go from 86 to 90. Then he can turn back around. He could go in his 93 bag with Return of the Boom Bap, you know, step into a world. Like, that's the thing with Kane. Kane had 2 good years. He had like 87 to like 89. You know what I mean? So after 89, Kane is done. He can't play anything else. And niggas like, oh, you know, Kane, I've had the pleasure of seeing both live in concert. Warm It Up Kane may be his hypest song, but Warm It Up Kane can't hold a candle to when Krs is going to do The Bridge Is Over or South Bronx. It may not even be able to hold a candle when he does Step Into a World. And that's KRS in his latter years. So, I mean, I think just off longevity alone, KRS is going to win the battle. I mean, I love Kane. Y'all got to understand, in 1988, dark-skinned niggas was not in style. Kane came out, that nigga was like the Rosa Parks for dark-skinned niggas. So I love Big Daddy Kane. Like, it's so much, well, I'm dead ass. See, y'all wasn't there. I'm telling you.
I wasn't there.
Like,
I was around. I wasn't outside.
Girls would be like, Kil, you cute, but nigga, you just a little too dark for me. And then Kane came out and Bobby Brown came out and then dark skins, we just came in style. Like, it's so funny. Me and one of my students who was murdered, God bless the dead, Tay, he would always joke with me because he's light skinned. He'd be like, man, I hate you dark skins. And I'm like, damn, that sounds like Redskins. Now I understand why people don't like the name Redskins, because he'd be like, you dark skins. And we was not in style until Kane came out. I love Kane. He's the Rosa Parks for us, but he's taking the L to KRS, man. It's and when I say it's not even close, that's no disrespect. But like I said, when it comes to the South Bronx and The Bridge Is Over, like, people lose their shits when those songs come on. You know, and to me, Kane just doesn't have that oomph right there to win that battle. It'll be one of the, I hate when people say this, hip hop won. I'm like, nigga, I'm from the 80s, nigga. You battle. There's a winner, there's a fucking loser. I hate when niggas be like, oh, hip hop won tonight. Nah, nigga. you don't say that shit, no NBA game. The NFL won today. No, nigga, somebody lost, somebody won. Like, so Kane is gonna take that out. But it'll be a dope night. People will reminisce, and younger folk can hear, but it ain't even close to me. Krs is taking that easy.
I concur. I downloaded their playlist on Tidal, and yeah, man, I remember being at a Beyonce concert with the wife. Their warm-up set was just old 80 joints, hip-hop joints, and the whole stadium was singing "Step Into," like the whole stadium lit up for that, and that's
what I'm saying.
I'm really not expecting that.
To a world.
I'm not even fully.
Kane doesn't even have anything to tell. And if you telling me people at a Beyonce concert is singing "Step Into a World," bro, if you get hip hop heads in that arena, bro, when that beat drops, and again, Kane just doesn't have anything. He can bring out Scoob and Scrap all day long and do split. At the end of the day, bro. Yeah, like I said, when the South Bronx comes on and The Bridge Is Over comes on, Black Cop comes on, man, please.
It's a wrap.
Man.
It's a wrap. Prez, James, who y'all got? Well, I mean, I know y'all wasn't outside either, but who do you have just based on your knowledge of both of the artists?
Man, like I said, I just go with KRS, man, because like Step Into a World, I remember like that song was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, and me being, 36, I was born in 85. If I can hear the song everywhere, like I really didn't hear, Big Daddy Kane everywhere like that, So if that song can transcend, regionally from New York all the way down to Carolina, like that just speaks to the impact of the song, man. So I definitely got to go KRS.
For sure. Hey, fellas, look, man, I know we kept y'all a long time, but the convo was good, man. And like I said, man, we love to keep the pod going as long as the convo is moving, as long as it's entertaining. So I think my man Prez lost the camera. You know what I mean? We ain't never do that. We ain't never lose the camera twice in one pod. So it definitely was a good episode for us. We were just sitting back listening and enjoying you guys, man. So you guys are always welcome back. Around Christmas time when y'all drop that follow up to First 48. So we definitely would love y'all to come back around that time. You know what I mean? So, you guys got any last words before we take y'all out? Definitely want you guys to plug your podcast, music, label, whatever you want to plug before you go out. Whoever wants to start it off can.
You take it, King James. Okay. All right. Well, apartment 5B. Oh, I'm sorry. You want James?
No. You good.
Oh, all right. Apartment 5B podcast. Everything is on my website. We'll make beatsforfood.com. Kil 889 Twitter, IG. Again, support the album. The thing that I love about this album so much, and again, it goes back to King James, is that this album to me transcends music. And what I mean by that is like Sins of the Father is one of the songs that I'm going to have my teens listen to and really break down what they feel from that song and kind of start a discussion on that. Again, Chess, I'm going to use Chess as a song that's playing to get some of my young boys and girls, if they want, to become interested in chess. And I can't tell you how many people said stadium music needs to be played during an NFL game. One of my people said to me last night, like, yo, Wilder needs to come out to stadium music. Yeah. You know what I mean? For the fight. So again, I just thank you, brother, for allowing us to create something to me that, I'm going to be able to take into my teens. So not a lot of MCs can say like, yo, I can't take everybody's song and just go into my teen center like, yo, I really want y'all to pick apart this song and see if anything touches your spirit or anything speaks to you. And then the same with chess, and then the same with stadium music. So I just appreciate being able to be part of a project that is able to transcend music and be able to do some teaching. And just looking forward to what we got cooking up next. So what you got for us, King James?
Man, just to piggyback off what you said, man, the feeling is mutual. Like this project has received the most love out of any of my projects that I released before. So I just felt like it was a perfect pairing. And I'm definitely excited for what we got coming in the future, working on the full length and stuff. So we going to keep it moving, man. The EP First 48 is on my Bandcamp, jamespitflames.bandcamp.com. It's only $8, man. Hey, don't take our word for it. Go check it out. I'm also on Twitter, jamespitflames at twitter.com. And we have a website as well, outliers252.com. We just now launching in this stuff. So, there is a merch store where you can purchase vinyl and stuff. And I really want that to be like the central hub, so where cats can go to and be like, all right, what they got going on and stuff. So going to be a lot of announcements up there. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a newsletter that's coming out. We also have a blog, so really trying to shine a light on, lesser known acts, like myself that I think that are dope that people should check out, So that's pretty much all I got, man.
For sure, man. Yeah, shout out to you for paying it forward, man, because it's just not about you. It's about putting other people on the dope shit. And in the span of making this podcast, the last 2.5 years we've been doing it, we returned to our love for music, to be honest with you. Not just the shit that you see that drops every Friday. You know what I mean? The digging through and finding the gems. And that's what me and Prez like bonded over 20 years ago as friends. So guys like you two, JR, I Am God, Abel Mary, Numbs. If I forget you, it's just my memory. It's not my heart, man. But you guys definitely have inspired me to get back into my shit and not put a limit or age or expiration on greatness. So you guys keep doing your things. Y'all fired, man. So just keep doing it. Make sure y'all let us know if y'all want to come back in December when y'all drop that part two.
That's not. We got to come back. But I want to get all of y'all on Apartment 5B. We have to pull a Sunday because I know James' work schedule. You in Germany, so if Sundays work, however we could work around when y'all do y'all podcast, I want to get all y'all on a episode of Apartment 5B with us, just to chop it up with us. And then too, bro, if you ever need anything with the beats, just get at me. We could do FaceTime, hook, we could do whatever help you need with that. That's nothing. I love teaching how to make beats more than talking about hip hop. So, you know what I mean? That's nothing right there.
For sure. Pencil me in one of these Fridays or Saturdays. I'm down for that always. Always down for learning and humbling myself for shit that I can't do to get better, man. But I'm definitely a student, and I'll be on your line for sure. So thanks for the offer. Thanks for the offer.
Already.
Krs, man. I know your camera went out, brother, but I know you got some final words for the fellas.
Yeah. Just love the album, love what y'all was going, the whole concept of it. If you can, like they put out there, go to their Bandcamp, go support. If it's within your means, like go ahead, drop a couple dollars on that too. Love this episode. It was great chatting with y'all. Would love to come on to your podcast as well. So, and hopefully y'all get back in there and drop us some new music soon, as Cash is trying to throw out there.
I ain't trying.
No doubt. All
right. Got y'all.
With that said,
all right, y'all. Good looking.
For sure. With that said, this is episode 129 of Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast. Check us out each and every Tuesday at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Video will be out around Thursdays. On top of that, so you can guarantee that if we really love the episode, the video might be out the same day. It just depends. You know what I'm saying? So y'all check us out. Tell a friend to tell a friend. That's the only way we gonna grow. And if y'all like shit like this, hip hop discussions, real discussions, family discussions, tap in with your boys, man. Krs and Cash each and every week on Tuesdays. Kil, King James, thanks for a phenomenal project, man. We'll chop it up with y'all later.
No doubt.